it was very frustrating for me as someone who strongly dislikes, I don't want to say hates, but strongly dislikes the Eagles, to see Jalen Carter just fall down that board right into their laps when they trade up with Chicago at 9. And then later on in the evening, Nolan Smith, again, a very highly rated defender throughout the entire pre-draft process, slowly falling down the board until at 30. Of course the Eagles take him. Keely Ringo as well, the Georgia cornerback. I know there are issues. I know he didn't play particularly well this past season, but this was a guy who a lot of people thought would be a first-round pick at one point.
The steal of the draft.
Tons of promise, and he comes in. He's in a situation where he's with James Bradbury, another large corner to learn from. Darius Slay's a great leader. He's part of my company, the Volumes Network. Just an awesome dude. I love what Philly's doing. Every single move they make, it seems to be. And they got DeAndre Swift, too. They're loading up on the Georgia Bulldogs, loading up on national championship winners and tons of talent. It's annoying to watch, but they're doing exactly what you would want them to do as a fan.
I think it's a fantastic strategy. I mean, you already have the superstar offense right now. Now, why not take a bunch of dudes, a bunch of ballers from the same team who have played together, won a championship together? Now that's your defense.
And they just attack the quarterback over and over and waves.
Now they have they have like 6 Georgia Bulldogs. It's incredible.
But the way people are talking about this Eagles team, it's like they can do no wrong. I mean, look, here's what happened, right? They got spooked and traded up for a guy with character concerns. A lot of talent there, don't get me wrong. But there's a reason all these teams ahead of him that could have used the defensive tackle passed. They traded up for no reason. And then people are talking about...
He is fantastic.
We're talking about the number 1 rated prospect in the draft for a lot of people.
But for a lot of people, except the people that actually know the most. Like, look, there's a reason that NFL teams, a lot of them who needed this guy, passed on. Right, there were a lot of teams that could have traded up with the Bears. There were a lot of teams that had need for a guy like him, and they all passed. People talk about Keely Ringo falling. Every team in the NFL passed on him at least twice. Most teams 3, 4, even 5 times.
Yeah, I kind of think that's a mistake.
That's why
but this is the thing.
This is the Super Bowl.
This is what's ridiculous, right? People always talk about draft steals, but there's no such thing as a draft steal. You can go back and look at the guys who everyone thought was going to be great, and they fell in the draft. They don't perform better than anyone else drafted.
So with Jalen Carter, is the main thing for you the character concerns, or is there something about the way he plays that you think is the reason that he fell?
I mean, the thing that I worry about with Jalen Carter is he's never played more than 400 snaps in a season. Right? This is the thing you always have to worry about, guys that haven't been able to stay on the field during college. And I get that Georgia rotates defensive linemen. It was the same thing with several of other guys they've had coming out of the draft. But a lot of the thought that he's going to be able to come in and be like an immediate pass rusher and impact the NFL, it's all projection. He's never done it before.
When he was on the field, he was fantastic.
Nolan Smith too. I just was checking out some of his stats before the show today. He ran a 4.39 40. I believe it was the first ever sub 4.4 40 for a defensive end or an edge rusher. These guys are monster athletes from Georgia. They're like you said, they're ballers. I like it.
They're national champions.
I like it. Again, Ziggy, there is a reason that they fall, and sometimes when it works out, the Eagles might look like geniuses. But there are situations where, yes, very talented people or allegedly very talented people do fall, and they don't. So only time will tell with that. I wanted to
weren't people freaking out about how Jordan Davis was going to be an immediate impact player for them last year?
He was very good.
You know how many sacks he got?
But did you see the run statistics?
He's a D tackle.
He got 18 tackles. What do you mean the run statistics?
Look at the run stats when he was on the field versus off the field for Philly.
He got 18 tackles. He was barely on the field for that.
I don't remember what the numbers were.
Tackles a meaningless stat in your eyes.
It's different when you're talking about middle linebackers.
No, Ziggy, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember what the numbers are, but when Jordan Davis was on versus off the field last season, he made a significant contribution to Philly's run defense. He was absolutely an impact player for that team last year.
He was also hurt for half the season.
No, that's what it was. When he was out, they started getting gouged a little bit more. But
stunning development. A player who doesn't play a lot of snaps in college and has difficulty staying on the field gets hurt in the NFL. More in the evening news at 9 o'clock.
I'll take that over the impact argument. But yeah, so again, Philadelphia.
I think it was a great draft.
I'm all in on it. Ziggy's not. We'll have to see what happens.